today we're going to be reviewing a different type of product. We're going to be reviewing a Great Western engine from Dapol for the first time, so let's get started. Like Bachmann and Hornby, Dapol is a model railroad company in the United Kingdom that do make 00 models. This is the very first time, however, that I have bought a Dapol locomotive, because back in the past, Dapol's quality control wasn't the best, especially with their locomotives and rolling stock, but recently I've been hearing great things about this model, so I decided to pick one up myself to see if this model truly is good, or if it's just like the rest of Dapol's range and has very poor quality control. So let's check this model out first. As we turn to the front of the model, we do see that this model does come with sprung buffers, a smoke box, door and dart, handrails around the smoke box, as well as lamp irons, and a lot of separately applied rivets. Now, one thing I don't like about Dapol's locomotives is their quality control. Dapol have, in a lot of their models, very poor quality control, and I'm sorry to say that this one is no different. This buffer that I just pulled off the front of the model came off the packaging as I was unboxing this locomotive for the first time. Honestly, a very big disappointment considering how much I paid for this model, as this is supposed to be a premium model. But those were, and also the smoke box dart, I had to glue back on place. That is not factory fitted like that. I had to glue that back in place. It looks bad, but that's what I had to do to keep it on there. Now, as we go to the side of the model, the quality control is a lot better over here. We do see that the model does have a nice satin finish to it, and that you can see we do have an edged nameplate, number 7301, and you can see the power classification, all printed out very crisply. We can also see that the side rods are done to a very high standard with the cylinders and the cylinder drain cocks. We can also see that the model does have separately applied handrails and a very straight and running board, which is made of metal. We do have a reverser rod, although this is made of plastic and it does show, which does look a little toy-like to me, and it does bother me a bit. As we move on to the cab, we do see that this model does have separately applied whistles and glazing in the cab, which I really like that detail. As we move on to the cab, we can definitely see that all the details were picked out, and this is not another thing that I really like about the Dapol Mogul. It's that they have this new tension lock coupling between the tender and the engine, which does make it a lot more nicer and easier to couple the engines. And we do also see that this model does have a flickering smoke box flicker effect, which is very nice. And the cab details, again, are second to none and very beautiful. As demonstrated right here, this coupling system between the locomotive and the tender is very efficient. It's definitely a lot better than having wires just hanging from the bottom of the engines and under the drawbar. And I think this is a very good technique that Dapol are doing. And if other manufacturers started doing this, then I think that models would definitely be more justified for their prices. And as you can see, it's very easy to couple and uncouple this locomotive, which I find very good. Moving on to the tender. The tender is very nice. I always liked these type of Great Western Railway tenders, as for their very nice simplistic look. As we can see, we do have some more cab details on the tender, and we have a separately applied coal load, which does look very nice. Moving to the back, we do have lamp irons, steps, vacuum pipes. Some reason we don't have a coupling, which I'm a little confused about, and we do have sprung buffers and NEM couplings. Sadly though, the back buffers do have the same problem as the front buffers, where they can easily be pulled off. Moving on to the under frame of the locomotive's tender, we do see that the axle boxes are done to a very high standard. We can see that it has a pre-fitted water scoop and brake rigging, and I think that looks very nice. We do also see inside the locomotive that we do have inside motion, which I always think is a very well done and nice feature. With all the flaws that this model has, it does have a lot of positives. One thing that I really like about this locomotive is demonstrated right here. To put DCC in this locomotive, Dapol have supplied this little tool where you take off the smoke box darts, took me a few tries, and see, as you can see, it comes off very easily, and then you use the other side of the stick to pull out the decoder socket, and it fits right into the locomotive. So that way you don't need to put in the tender, you don't have to deal with wires, and it's very simple. And the decoder socket is fitted into the locomotive and is very secure indeed. I like how compact it is and how simple Dapol made this to be. If other manufacturers started doing these revolutionary things like they did with the tender as well, I think that locomotive prices nowadays would be much more justified. Over recent years, Dapol's quality control has been getting better and better, and it definitely shows in their models. This model of the Great Western Railway 43XX is a great representation of the class. Although the quality control issues aren't completely gone, it is definitely better than some other models that I've seen in the ranges and from other manufacturers. This model has detail, has looks, and it definitely is one of the most revolutionary models that I've seen up to date with the tender connections and the DCC decoder fitting. Honestly, this is a very good model, and if improved, this would have been a perfect model for me. Well, that's all for today, guys. I give this model, let's go 7 out of 10. If Dapol can fix their quality control issues, then that's good for me. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you all in the next one. Cheers, everybody, and goodbye.